Hello, this is my conclusion about stereotypes and prejudices in negotiations. First, we gotta know what is a negotiation. A negotiation is a process or what is supposed to be a rational process where two or more parties come together to reach a mutual agreement. But in reality, emotions, biases, and assumptions often sneak into the room. One of the most common and damaging factors are stereotypes and prejudices. Let's break it down. First, stereotypes are generalized beliefs about a group of people. They might be based on gender, race, nationality, age, or even someone's profession. While prejudices go a step further, it's when those beliefs turn into unfair attitudes or behaviors towards someone just because they are part of that group. Now, you might think, I don't judge people like that, but here's the thing, we all carry unconscious biases. They are shaped by our upbringing, media, culture, and past experiences. And they can show up even when we don't realize it, especially under pressure, like in a negotiation. So let's take a look at a few real life examples. And the most common is, for example, a woman walks into a high stakes business meeting to negotiate a deal. She's confident and assertive, but instead of being respected, she's labeled as aggressive or emotional. Meanwhile, a man showing the same behavior might be seen as strong or indecisive. That's gender bias in action. Or imagine something that we have seen in class, negotiating with someone from another country. Maybe you have heard things like people from that culture or that country are too indirect or they're overly aggressive. Acting on those assumptions can quickly kill trust and block communication before negotiating even starts. These stereotypes are dangerous because they cloud our judgment and we stop seeing the individual in front of us, but instead we see and react to the label we have placed on them. And it doesn't just affect how we see others, but it also can affect how we see ourselves too. If you are constantly being underestimated because of your background, you might begin to doubt your own value at the negotiating table. That's called stereotype threat, and it can seriously damage confidence and performance. So you might be asking, what can we do about it? Well, first, we gotta be aware of that problem. We have to recognize that stereotypes and prejudices exist and they even exist in ourselves. The moment we become aware of them is the moment we start gaining control over them. The second thing we gotta do is prepare ourselves. Before entering a negotiation, do your research about the person, not the stereotype. Get to know their experience, their goals, their culture, and the communication style they have. The third thing you will need to do is active listening. Really pay attention to what the other side is saying without jumping to conclusions. It builds empathy and helps strip away assumptions. And finally, challenge bias, especially when you see it, whether it's in yourself or from others at the table. Don't be afraid to point it out respectfully and constructively. And in the end, a successful negotiation is about connection, clarity, and trust. Stereotypes and prejudices often get in the way of all three, but with awareness, attention, and practice, we can create more fair, open, and effective conversations, one negotiation at a time. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, when we need to start seeing the person, not the label. It's the only way we can win.